I died here because I got hooked. I shouldn't get hooked. No shit, of course you shouldn't get hooked. You shouldn't get RLQ'd. But what you should look at is what happened 30 to 45 seconds before. League of Legends is a game where decision number 1 influences decision number 2, that influences decision number 3, that influences decision number 4. So then if you're looking at decision number 5, you need to also take the decision number 4 and number 3 into consideration. If you only look at decision number 5, which can be I woke up for a minute and I got hooked, you won't have a very good vision about the perspective of why you died. Hey guys, it's Besides here, and into this video I'm gonna show you how I personally analyze games and how you can also analyze your own game. So if you're here and you don't know how to do a VOD review, you're the kind of guy that is like, oh man, but I don't know the mistake, what to look at. You know, I see my mistakes, I can see what I'm doing wrong, but I'm still doing the mistake inside of the game. Or simply maybe you are not seeing not even your mistakes and you feel like a bit stuck, you feel like you can't really find out what you're doing wrong. These tips are gonna help you, and this is an amazing video. Whether you're an AD carry main or whatever you play, this is a very nice video. So the first tip that I have for you is specifically you need to actually analyze the deaths, right? So when you're analyzing a game, so for example this game, right, what I do is that I simply just go, so let's say I play Aphelios, I just speed up and I actually look at 4x or 8x depending on what you know, and I look at either the fights, but more specifically majority of the cases I look at the deaths. Of course, some of the players, they might also look for they might also play for the trades. They will look at the trades, they will look at the follow-ups, they will look at more things. But as a rule of thumb, the best thing that you can do is have a specific goal. Let's say most of the players, they know what they're doing wrong. So for example, if I am bad at trading, I will specifically try to look at that. If you don't know what your mistake is, let's say your mistake is you don't know when to follow your team, obviously you can work on that in the VOD review. You can look at it specifically when it happens and you can pause it and say, hey, at this time can I follow Yasuo, for example, and then you can be like, okay, I should follow because, you know, they are on the river, or maybe the disadvantage is that I have low HP and I can't follow. So you kind of try to do some critical thinking, as in why would I do it and why would I not do it. But the simple way of doing it is exactly like this. You analyze the deaths or the big trades. For example, here, if I see this is Master Tier West, this is like my main account, so it's around 50 LP to 200 LP. This is kind of the range. So in this case, obviously, we're expecting to try to push because we play against Real and Ezreal, but Alistar is also really weak, level 1 with the push, but Aphelios is really strong with the push. So we're expecting to really win this lane phase. Not so hard because, you know, Aphelios doesn't really have so much like win power, but we can see that right here. What happens is that they go on us, we cleanse, and this is what happens. And after this happens, I'm actually getting caught and I'm always dying. So here, if I die, usually like a low player will be like, oh, okay, I shouldn't really I shouldn't really got caught of this. I shouldn't really woke up. Oh, okay. But this is a very bad way of VOD reviewing. I mean, of course you shouldn't woke up, but what brings you there? So the first tip is analyze the deaths or the key important moments based on what you want to achieve in the VOD review. The second tip I have for you is don't analyze the deaths specifically. Oh, I died here because I got hooked. I shouldn't get hooked. No shit, of course you shouldn't get hooked. You shouldn't get RLQ'd. But what you should look at is what happened 30 to 45 seconds before. League of Legends is a game where decision number 1 influences decision number 2, that influences decision number 3, that influences decision number 4. So then if you're looking at decision number 5, you need to also take the decision number 4 and number 3 into consideration. If you only look at decision number 5, which can be I woke up for a minute and I got hooked, you won't have a very good vision about the perspective of why you died here. So here, this is the bronze gameplay. This is the bronze VOD review. Oh, I got caught. I should have really woke up. This is how it should be. Okay, so let's see what we did wrong in the beginning. So if we are analyzing a mistake, we're analyzing the steps that bring us to get to do the mistake. So let's see what we did level 1. So we're expecting to push here, and the Aphelios tries to push. With Alistar can't really woke up for the minions because he's gonna get poked. We see Aphelios doesn't have a good understanding of what we should do in this lane, and he doesn't push properly. So right here, Aphelios wasted so much time here going left and right, when all what he should do is hitting the minions. He's trying to poke, he's not trying to zone. This is not good. So Aphelios' mistake here is simply like he didn't really push as fast as he can. And of course right now, because it's really close, we almost got level 2, but unfortunately this minion actually was gonna give us a level 2, right? But we couldn't really get it. We couldn't really get it at all. So actually no, we need 2 even. Okay, this is so bad though. So now when he gets caught here, Aphelios' mistake is not that he gets caught. Aphelios' mistake is not that he gets hit by the LQ. Aphelios' mistake is not that he walked up. Aphelios' mistakes and Analyse's mistake is that they didn't really push it in time. Are you an AD carry main struggling to make an impact in your games? Is your damage output disappointingly low, leaving you feeling frustrated and powerless in the role you love? Introducing our specialized coaching program designed to supercharge your AD carry performance. Imagine a world where your damage, decision making and farming skills are 10 times better and the outcome of your games is no longer left to chance. Meet Chase, just like you, he was once stuck in the same position, facing low damage and inconsistency in his games. Let's see what happened after his coaching experience, from Diamond 4 to Master Tier. Wow! And here is Jordan and Brett, both transformed into formidable AD carry after the coaching session. These success stories aren't just isolated cases, they are a part of a community of over 3,243 players who benefited from the coaching program. If it worked for them, why not for you? Picture yourself as an unstoppable AD carry. It's not a dream, it's your potential with the coaching session. Don't wait any longer, visit Visite.com, book your coaching and become the AD carry the enemy team hates to play against. And here is the same thing. So here, be careful when you're flaming your support or when you're flaming your AD carry, because as we see, I mispositioned right there, so I shouldn't be there. So you guys can see, yeah bro, but you mispositioned, what are you talking about, you shouldn't be there. Yeah, at the same time you can say, yeah bro, but never mind, Aphelios is griefing you, why is he not pushing? He's playing against Real, you have Alistar, you want to push for level 2. So when you're flaming your support or when your support is inting, ask yourself, how can I make it less severe? How can I make my support die less? How can I make it better? Because every time when your AD carry or your support die, your first intention might be, oh, he's bad, he's not good, you know, he doesn't know how to play. But most likely also had to do with the decision. This Aphelios flamed me so hard when we see that he does 50% of the decision wrong as well, with the push, with the poke, he walks up. So be careful when you're actually flaming someone or you're getting angry on someone, because on bot lane specifically and even on mid lane, your decisions also influence the other people. For example, if you play top lane, the decision of the jungle can influence you, or your decision can influence the jungle, whether you get prio or not. On bot lane, same thing, and on bot lane it's even more severe because you play with 2 people. So be very careful if you do that. But obviously, when you analyze a game, analyze the thing that got you there and not exactly the fact that you got hooked or you got, you know, that is not the mistake. The mistake is that you, like here, the mistake was that we didn't get prior level 1 and this is why level 2 that happened. The mistake wasn't like, oh, I got off the position, you know, was Alistar. No. I should have pinged him to push and we should have pushed faster. That is it. The next tip that I actually have for you is that you shouldn't really be analyzing every game. Every game is like different, right? So if you just go in your match history, like obviously not every single game is winnable. Like for example, maybe you have a game when you're inting like 1-7 like this, or maybe you have a game when you are 10-0, like 3-2-21 on support, for example. Like these games are not very good to review. Why? It's because it's specifically extremely good or extremely bad. Games that are extremely good or extremely bad, of course with a lot of exceptions, are usually not good to review because you either did it really well or you did really bad. So the best games that you can review are the ones that are kind of doable and that you still lost. So for example, if we have to take a look at this match history, let's take a look at this Leo. This guy was extremely good. We're talking about I think 300 LP player, maximum rank last season, 100 wins, so he's really good. So if I was him, look, 8-7 game defeat. This is a good game to analyze because first of all, he has 8 kills and it's a defeat and he has 7 deaths. A bad game to analyze would be the 5-0-7 game or a 0-5 game kind of deal, you know. I wouldn't analyze this. Oh coach, but what do you mean? Because you can learn from these games too, right? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. You can learn from any game. That's no problem. In these games, you're probably going to learn like 70% of mistakes or 65% of the mistakes. I just personally prefer to learn 95% of the mistakes. This is why when I personally do VOD review with people that want to get better as AD carries, what I do is that I choose the best game from their match history, which is usually a loss with a good KDA and a lot of damage, but you know, a loss. So that's what I do. Don't analyze every single game, obviously. Try to analyze the good ones. Of course, if you have a lot of time to analyze, you can analyze every single game, but it's not something that I would personally recommend. And remember that the next tip that I have for you is that the analyzation of the game basically begins inside of the game. So first, you have to see this two ways. While you're playing the game, you have to make sure you are actually thinking about whether like the decision that you took is good or not. So after we go in, after you die, after something happens, you ask yourself, what can I do better? Is there anything different that I could have done in that case? This is what I always do. I go in, I die, or my AD carry dies. I always ask myself, I have this like kind of, I want to improve, I want to be better, I have this mentality that, you know, I always ask myself, how can I make things better? How can I make this better? So this is a mentality that can help you in general. And the second tip, and this is actually something in regards to the VOD review, is that you need right after the game, when you see the end score and you actually just finish the game, you ask yourself, is this a good game to review? Because after you play the game, you know what happened. So if you stay like 5 days with that game in the match history, you're probably not going to remember what actually happened in that specific situation. But if you just wait, if you just play the game and you're by the end of the game and you're looking at your match history and you're like, hey, look, is this game a good game to review? And you might say yes, or you might say no. For example, this guy's a 7-3 a win. Usually I don't like to analyze wins, but you can. She had 33 deaths, so definitely could have played better. Why not? You know, she did only 18k damage. And if the answer is yes, it's a good game to review, you can download it. And every time when you go to your match history and you look at your match history, you will know that every downloaded game that you did download, you want to review. So the next day, before you play SoloQ, you can actually start 30 minutes, 45 minutes to actually review this game, 15 minutes even if you don't have much time. It's pretty helpful. If you're the kind of guy that is like, yeah, bro, but I can't find my mistakes, you know, or I find my mistakes, but I just do them again, man. It doesn't work. What if it doesn't work for me? Then you should definitely think about booking coaching, because someone that knows how like Challenger, Grandmaster, Master Tier play plays out, they can help you to identify the real mistakes and the things that actually the real mistakes that hold you back. So if you want to discover your mistakes, go to pizza.com, book your session, book your VOD review, and I can help you easily to identify your own mistakes. So if you truly want to get better, do that right now if you want to improve really fast. So this is basically what you should do. You should download the game right after you play it. And another thing, after you actually play the game, of course, you can make a notepad. As in, let's say you decided that this Alistar game can be downloaded, even though it's 0-5, it's pretty one-sided. It's also really like 22 minutes is pretty early game to finish, but maybe you want to see what you could have done in the early game. Also, after you play the game, if you choose to download it, make sure to make a notepad with Alistar, like the champion that you played, the KDA 0-5-3, and you ask yourself, what do I want to review in this game? So I want to review the early game, and you can say first 10 minutes. Or I want to review the whole game, or I want to review. It's very efficient, because next day when you go and try to do your review, it's actually going to help you to know exactly what you're going to review at that game. Because if you're going to analyze every single game, the whole game, it's going to be tough. Maybe sometimes you just want to go for the mid game. It's really good to do that. And another thing that I have to say is that obviously if you can't afford coaching, or simply don't want to get, it's going to be really difficult for you to improve just by playing, right? Just by playing, it's going to be very difficult to improve. If you have like a low win rate and like 48% win rate, 50% win rate, like look at this guy, for example. Like I just coached this guy, and I told him, hey man, he had 48% win rate before I coached him, right? This is how his gameplay looks like right now. But this guy was like really, like, he had potential, but the problem is that he wasn't improving. He wasn't seeing his mistakes, right? And he didn't really know what he's doing wrong. He didn't know what he's doing wrong. He was stuck. 48% win rate. You guys can see that he has like 800, 900 games. Yeah, 800 games in this rank. He is stuck. So this kind of players, they usually can't see their own mistakes, right? So this is why if you are in this position, you have 48% win rate, 49, 50, 51, 52, And if you have higher, then I think you're fine. I mean, only if you really want to get better faster, you should think about coaching. But if particularly 51, between 48, 47 and 51% win rate, 51 included, I think you should really book coaching, because most likely the amount of mistakes that you can identify is not so big, so you're gonna have a lot of problems to identify them yourself. And you can see that based on your win rate. You can check your win rate, and you can see, obviously, if you have like basically 10 games played this season and you have 30 win rate, that doesn't really apply. You should have minimum 100 games, preferably 150 in total. So that's how you basically see it. Of course, this guy, by the way, he was low gold when I first coached him. He's Emerald 4 right now. He improved a lot. We can see his KDAs. He's a very smart player. His name is Mike. I really love coaching him, and he's a very smart dude. So I think we're gonna go for diamond. So it's gonna be a big progress from gold to diamond with the coaching. So there is that. So if you wanna also get this progress, besides that come, you know where to go. And the last tip that I have for you is simply don't waste too much time to actually review your games. As in, don't waste more than 20 to maximum 30% of how much time you play per day into reviews. As in, if you play, for example, an hour per day, not longer than 20 minutes. Well, the 20 minutes is even too long. Not longer than 10 minutes should be your VOD review, maybe 15 minutes. If you play for like an hour and let's say 40 minutes, you shouldn't waste more than 20 minutes to review your game, maybe 25 minutes. So if you play, let's say 10 hours per day, obviously I will consider reviewing, because you have so much time. If you play more than 3 hours per day, it's worth to review, but I wouldn't waste more than 30% of the time that I invest in League on a reviewing, because obviously, so for example, to take a clear example, let's say I play 2 hours or let's say I play 3 hours per day, that's 180 minutes, and I divide this by let's say I want to see 30% of 180. It's gonna be 54 minutes, right? It's gonna be 54. So this means maximum 54 minutes you want to review. But I actually personally recommend you between 20, maximum 25%. So usually I like 20. So look, 20% of 180. So you put 20% out of how many minutes you play per day. Let's say 3 hours. So that's 36 minutes of VOD review per game. Per day. So this is the optimal, in my opinion, way. Because if you're doing it, oh, I'm playing 2 hours and I'm reviewing 5 hours. Oh, I'm not reviewing at all and I'm playing 10 games per day. That's not good. That's not good. I mean, it might be fun, but you're not really gonna improve as fast as you can improve. So I don't recommend you to actually waste too much time with the reviews. And obviously, if you're in low elo, personally, I would avoid doing reviews if I'm below platinum. It can help whether you're platinum, silver, gold, bronze, emerald, but below platinum, and even I would say even below diamond 1, it might be a little bit hard for you to see your own mistakes. So I wouldn't recommend you to do it yourself. If you can get a coach for whatever reason, then at least just try to go to YouTube and try to see, like for example here, let's say I play Kalista, like I just go here and I say Kalista stream LOL, and I try to watch Kalista players. Look, Gumayushi 3 months ago, I see how Gumayushi plays Kalista. He has a lot of games. Then I say Gumasushi replay or Kalista replay, and I just analyze LVS, Challenger, Master Tier, and I look how they play. So instead of playing more, if I see I'm playing a lot per day and I'm still stuck, I would try to find another way. Get some coaching, look at some videos, look at some guides, but specifically watch your own champion played by other people. So this is what I would do if I was silver, gold, bronze. So that's the second best approach after trying to reach out for some help from like a coach. Second best approach is, well, to play, and as you're playing, you VOD review and you also watch a lot of players. And if you're below platinum or if you simply can't find your mistakes, it's better to invest the time that you do in VOD reviews, you invest it into watching pro players. And obviously, if you don't know how to do VOD reviews, I would say it's still helpful to like see your own deaths, but again, not as helpful as it could be if you get coaching or if you watch a pro player. Of course, it depends on the person, because you know, I know Beryl, you guys probably know Beryl, it's the support of like one of the best supports in Korea, probably top 5. He plays 2 hours or something per day, I heard, and he is analyzing like 5 hours or 6 hours of gameplay. So maybe you say, oh, besides, but I'm like, Beryl, why are you saying that only 20%? Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, this is my recommendation, but of course it can fluctuate a lot like these times. I just think this is the optimal stats for like an average player. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for being a patron, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
$5. If you have problems improving and getting better in the game faster but cannot afford booking coaching, on my Patreon you can access more than 627 VOD reviews, premium videos about how to wave management, mid-game macro, and tier lists that will show you the best champions to climb and to improve for your elo. And these are not on YouTube, this is only on Patreon, they're exclusive. Moreover, you can participate in the free coaching waiting list to get a premium VOD review. I'm giving away 2 free VOD reviews every single week. All what you need to do is simple 2-step process. Subscribe to my Patreon and share your OPGG, and voila, you are on the waiting list. You're gonna get a personalized VOD review for any game in your match history. For just $5, you get not only the free VOD review, but a whole bunch of exclusive benefits that will supercharge your gaming experience. It's a small investment for a big return. And it's just $5, it's no brainer, right? But here is the deal, you've got to act quickly. The waiting list is already filling up fast. 55 people already subscribed to the Patreon, and there are 6 people that they already are on board, they are on the waiting list. And more are joining every moment. Now, do you want to secure your spot for a free VOD review? Go ahead on my Patreon and reserve it right now.